Time now for the Q. I'm joined by two women I have known for a very, very long time. Cheryl Weber is one of the hosts of the longest running daily television show in Canada, 100 Huntley Street. And Melinda Estabrooks is the host of See, Hear, Love, a show dedicated to women on their faith journey. Thank you both for joining us here on the Q on Context. As we're celebrating International Women's Day, what does it mean to be a woman of faith in today's culture? Cheryl, maybe I'll start with you.
Yeah, it's not easy, in a sense. I think probably 20 years ago it was more accepted that you might have a faith. Now it's almost kind of antagonistic to have a faith in a sense. And yet we're in a time when it's never been more needed, when people are more desperate, more hungry, looking for comfort, dealing with anxiety and fear and crisis. So I see that role, as kind of maybe not what people are inviting, but absolutely what people need. And we see people grabbing that hope every single day. And that's what gets me out of bed, is like, it's changed my life. So it's hard to explain sometimes when people are telling you they don't want it or they don't find it interesting. But at the same time, it's exactly what will give them that spark in their step and that joy and that peace in their heart in this incredible time of uncertainty.
Maggie, I agree with Cheryl. I feel the gravity and weight of responsibility to be a voice, a Christian voice, a voice that follows Jesus. It is a privilege and honor that I have this platform that I can share hope, peace, joy, and love, just like what Cheryl's saying, but it's not easy. It's hard. And there are moments that I kind of like shake in my stilettos with the responsibility. But man, when you have yourself and Cheryl in the same places of Christian women in media, it encourages me to keep going.
Now, this year's theme for International Women's Day is Choose to Challenge. What have both of you had to challenge in your roles and in your roles on your different shows and your perspectives? Melinda?
Yeah, I would say, I love this for National Women's Day. I choose to challenge. I think I choose to challenge as having the same voices and people represented on my show. For this year, Maggie, it's all been about, listening, learning, leaning in, and amplifying BIPOC voices. And so I am like choosing to challenge sort of the status quo and usual voices that we always hear in Christian media, and expanding, trying to get everyday voices of women and men across Canada and the world to speak on issues that matter.
I think for me, and Melinda, I love what you're doing on See, Hear, Love, and it's so important. And I think we're working on that diversity piece on 100 Huntley Street too, and we need to keep working on it. But I think for me, two fronts are the challenges. I mean, obviously there's been this whole shift to right now we're broadcasting from home. Had to learn a lot about that. And I've been challenging myself, particularly as we've come into this year, to learn all kinds of new things about the digital world. I know there's a huge shift happening. We want to be on the front of that. I personally want to be on the front of that. But I think the other challenge is that you can get overwhelmed with what's happening in the world, the negativity that we're hearing every day in the media. Like, I'm a journalist, so I'm reading all kinds of different news sources, and they're all like through this last year, the world is coming to an end. We're all going to be, it's like the Great Depression, it's just been, and so my challenge has been that I have to feed myself with hope. I have to keep my spirits up. I have to keep anxiety out of my door in order to give anybody else anything. I've got to get it first. I don't have the luxury of wallowing in any of it. So protecting my spirit and my mind and filling myself with hope so I can give it out.
Melinda, your new book, Always Know, a collection of inspiring words and stories from some of your guests over the past number of years on See, Hear, Love, a way of continuing to communicate hope. Tell me about the motivation behind this book and what you hope it will do.
Maggie, thank you so much. This came out of the pandemic. We didn't know if we were going to be able to broadcast or be on television. We had no idea what this pandemic was going to do for us. And I remember sitting with my team and saying, what can we do? They said, we have blogs and devotionals for every single show that we have produced. And so we put together a collection, 49 Canadians, Maggie, 1 American, right across coast to coast to coast across Canada, sharing, about issues that matter, overcoming shame, being brave, leading well, knowing you're loved and valued by God. All of these topics, Maggie, are topics that young women have said, these are topics that we need your help on. Be a virtual mentor to us, Melinda. And so we put them all together. And what's great about this book is that it has reflection and takeaway at the end of every devotional. And every devotional is connected to an episode where you can watch the writer on our show. And it's hopeful, it's really life-giving, and it's very practical tools on how to live your best life with Jesus.
So good, so good. Thank you both, Cheryl Weber, Melinda Estabrooks, for joining me on Context. It was a nice little reunion.
Yes.
I
Loved it. Thanks, Maggie, so much.
And we're cheering you on, Maggie, like crazy.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Woo!